We exposing thug mentality. Hey, yo, what's up, man? Did you get the book? The book? What book? Man, go to ThugExposed.com and get the book, Thug Mentality Exposed, by author Rayford Johnson. Thug Exposed? Yeah, man. The book is deep and very informative of the occultic movement called thug mentality. Say what? Yeah. Man, for instance, did you know that sagging pants started in prison as male prostitution? Oh, man, let me pull my pants out. Mama, where my belt at? You crazy. Hey, listen to this. The author's written facts is ancient spiritual history dating all the way back to ancient Babylon. Whoa, I gotta get that book, man. Man, what you say that was? Go to ThugExposed.com or call 1-866-909-BOOK. Representing truth, okay? So get with the new movement. Oh, for sure. At ThugExposed.com. We exposing thug mentality.
Hi, this is Aldry Monique Bridges. We're here at Robinson's Taekwondo with Master Robinson. Master Robinson, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a master at Taekwondo?
You know, that's a very good question, and I'll be happy to try and give you some insight on that. And basically, I got involved in Taekwondo accidentally, and I happened to be attending college and working at a restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant did Taekwondo. And they basically encouraged me in that direction. I went down, gave it a try, found out I really liked it, and heck, just never stopped. It was not my intention to do it as long as I've been practicing. I've been practicing, matter of fact, October of this year will be 44 years. And many times people will say, well, my gosh, how did you attain the level or the rank of a Grand Master? And I think, basically, I don't think I did anything special, but I had perseverance. I stayed in the line. And I think we all start in lines of our different careers, whether it be Taekwondo or something else. And the primary thing you got to do is keep moving forward. So you got to have some patience and perseverance. And there are always going to be lots of people ahead of you, but at the same time, there are people behind you. You know, it's kind of like going to the movie theater. As they sell the tickets, you get closer to the front. And through the practice of Taekwondo, I mean, some people have discontinued, some people have died. Many things happen in life, and I think as a result of continuing to train, I've learned a number of things, and one of those things is that keep pressing on.
So, Master Robinson, what were you like as a child?
You know, heck, I think I was probably like most youth. I actually grew up in Mobile, Alabama, and something that's very interesting is, to me at least, is the fact that growing up during the 50s and 60s, I was not aware that we were poor people, you know, because everyone else in the neighborhood had the same thing. So you look around, everybody's got what you got, so life was wonderful. I did have some experiences in the Deep South at that time that, however, motivated me to, number one, want to get an education, and number two, to make some changes in my life. And fortunately, I've had the opportunity to do that, and things have been going very well for me.
And so do you have some tips that you can share with the viewers about self-discipline and achieving successful goals?
You know, I guess if I would say anything at all, it would be believe in yourself. Okay, most certainly have a belief in God. At the same time, believe in yourself. Believe that there are possibilities, that things can in fact happen for you, and positive things. I think you have to focus on the positive. I mean, it's been said that whatever you focus on will grow and expand in your life. In my experience, I found that to be true. Most certainly there are going to be obstacles in life, but obstacles provide an opportunity for you to grow. I mean, I listen to a lot of different speakers, and when people think about challenges, something that most readily comes to mind is a gentleman by the name of Zig Ziglar, who indicated you cannot climb a smooth mountain. You got to have something to hold on to it, grab, push yourself up. And I tend to think of these things as obstacles. So obstacles are presented for us to continue to grow. And as long as we're accepting of that and realize that there's a wonderful ending for all of us, it's been designed by the Creator, I think we'll be okay.
So, Master Robinson, how did you start your business?
You know, I actually started this business by accident. You know, I happen to be a Vietnam era veteran. I returned to Sacramento in 1974, I think it was, and there were many programs available for veterans at that time, and unfortunately I didn't qualify for any of them. I went to college prior to going into the military, and so they had excellent programs designed for people that had no previous college. So I was kind of stuck in between that place, well, you're too much education for this, not enough for this particular program. And so it really led to my thinking about, gosh, what can I do? And I think I decided that if I was going to pursue a career, it had to be something that I would enjoy. And I had always practiced martial arts. I thought it would be very enjoyable. And gosh, gave it a shot. Didn't really know anything, but I learned along the way. And it's been a successful, wonderful venture that I still to this day enjoy.
So, do you think your military training had any influence on you starting a karate school?
Now, you know, gosh, that's difficult to say yes and no. You know, and I'd like to point out something else here because sometimes we fight things. I mean, there's certain things we don't want to accept. And something I certainly did not want to accept was going into the military. You know, that was not something I would have chosen to do. However, my time in the military turned out to be some of the most wonderful times of my life. Matter of fact, I had perhaps the best Taekwondo training that I've ever received as a result of going in the military and being shipped overseas.
Wow.
It's not something I would have planned for myself. So sometimes unexpected is good. Go with the flow.
So your Taekwondo training, was it, were you just inspired by it, or was it a hobby, or?
Great question. I mean, I think what I liked about it and what I continue to like about it is that this is an individual activity. I mean, it's all about you. So, I mean, any success, any failure, any challenges you have, it's about you. And you know, basically, I think even life is about you. I mean, above all things, know yourself. This forces you to know yourself. And it actually also teaches you how to set goals, how to overcome obstacles. And you know, there are lots of really positive role models in the martial arts. I've had some really positive people ahead of me that instructed me and continue to this day to mentor me, and I hope that I can do as good a job as they did.
So tell us a little bit about some of the people that inspired you, even in martial arts and even outside of martial arts.
Wow. That's, now I'd have to say outside of martial arts, I went through life not many things. Like perhaps the most immediate one that comes to mind would be Martin Luther King, because I was involved in some of the things that occurred in the 60s. And it was years later that I became familiar with Nelson Mandela, and you know, who I think is probably a fabulous person. I mean, watching a documentary on his life was very motivating to me and very inspiring, and certainly lends to the fact that there's something positive we can do regardless of what the obstacles are.
And so, with a lot of things that are going on with youth, you know, kids abusing drugs and this new hyphy movement that's going on, what are some of the things that concern you about society?
You know, I think we're all concerned about society, and I think that, you know, there have always been changes in society. Youth has always had some form of revolt against the establishment, and I think that's kind of a growth period. It seems somewhat more dangerous these days than previously, and I think that's as a result of the drugs and the amount of violence that exists. I mean, I think there's always been violence. Heck, there was violence when I was a kid, but I mean, there weren't a lot of people getting killed. So now we've got people literally dying in the streets, and really over small things. I mean, what's surprised me is the the colors type thing. I mean, that is absolutely amazing to me that someone would put their life at risk, stake their whole existence on something as insignificant as a color. That's kind of that's a little bit frightening. It's something to be concerned about. But I think we can try and understand these young people and perhaps counsel them or try to encourage them to move in a more positive direction, because good guys can win. Good guys can finish first. It's not always a bad guy that's victorious.
So some of the solutions to the problems we face today in society are self-discipline, counseling.
Great point, because counseling is good, and I think particularly counseling where you encourage people, in a positive direction. I mean, ultimately we all have to make our own choices, but at the same time, discipline, I think, is very important. And discipline starts within the home. So the parents have to teach the children discipline. I mean, we have to understand that things that happen in our lives are a direct result of what we do. And so, I mean, negative activities will yield negative results, and positive activities, positive results. So trying to encourage them in a positive direction. I mean, there's getting involved in things that give you a sense of accomplishment, and I tell you what, perhaps one of the greatest feelings of accomplishment is to overcome a physical challenge. I mean, I think nobody likes to go and work out, but once you've worked out and you sweat and you go a little bit farther than you did the last time, that's a good feeling. I think that kind of builds your self-esteem, and perhaps a lot more effectively than playing a video game. So a little sunshine, a little fresh air is good for the soul, regardless of what age you are. Well, I mean, having a sense of pride, and I mean, growing up in Alabama and going to all black schools, and there was a certain sense of pride instilled in you. I'll never forget, even in junior high school, a gentleman that affected me very deeply. It was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Grant, who was a principal. And Mr. Grant basically indicated that you are somebody. And I mean, literally everyone in that school, whether if you were a girl, on Friday you wore a dress, all the boys wore a tie, everyone ate lunch in the cafeteria. And, and they taught us manners and things of that nature, how to behave. And that's something I don't see happening in this day and age. People teaching kids how to behave, those good old-fashioned Southern manners, or whatever you like to call them, really valuable skills. And I think as a result of my training with Mr. Grant, many of the other teachers I had, inspired me to actually go to Tuskegee Institute, which I guess is now Tuskegee University. And the experiences there were positive. And here again, it was about doing something positive and making a contribution. So I'm absolutely shocked at the rate of teen pregnancies that exist in our community today. That did not, that was hardly visible as a young man growing up. I'm sure, those things happened. However, it was not as widespread as it is today. So most certainly not to criticize the youth of today, but really to try and indicate that perhaps if we had a return to some traditional values and might be a positive thing for people today. I mean, certainly things have changed, but discipline, self-esteem, a sense of contribution to the community is, I think, very significant even today.
Keep the camera on.
So.
So, keep the camera
Okay.
So being an African American in an industry that not predominantly held positions by African Americans. What was that experience like, just being in an industry that's not predominantly dominated by African Americans?
It's been very interesting, and even to this day, it's still challenging. However, I have to say that I kind of believe that one of the responsibilities of anyone is you got to walk the talk. So I'm telling young people that they can overcome obstacles. I'm telling them that they can be successful, and I have to demonstrate that, and I have to demonstrate that through my actions. So. And I guess I mention that because the obstacles that the average African American or whatever might encounter in life, I get those in this industry. And I can either focus on those and say that, gosh, here's a reason I can excel, or I can acknowledge that things are what they are. Same time, also acknowledge that I have a certain level of skill and knowledge and expertise in this industry and move forward. And that's what I choose to do. And that philosophy has worked really well for me, and quite honestly, I think it will work well for anyone that happens to embrace it.
So being a graduate of Tuskegee, you had mentioned that there were some things that concern you about the African American community. What's the difference between your experience, growing up and what you're seeing now?
Well, when I was growing up, there was, I think, a greater sense of community. Okay, in other words, people shared a similar experience. I mean, heck, we were basically confined to the same neighborhood. And everyone really felt a sense of pride when someone in the community did something positive. I mean, it was like the whole community had won. And I remember as a young man, perhaps the most famous person out of our community was Hank Aaron. And Hank Aaron had a little store in there that we'd all passed walking to school every day. And we were all really proud of the fact that Hank Aaron came out of our neighborhood. And and the fact that Hank Aaron was successful meant we could be successful. And I think there have been many people in our community, actually from my community that I grew up in, that have become very successful. One that most immediately comes to mind is a gentleman who's, I'm not certain if he's a senator or congressman from the state of Georgia, Sanford Bishop. We actually were classmates. And he's been successful. And I'm sure there are many other people that grew up in that area and from that time have been successful in different careers that they've undertaken.
Yeah, I just want to ask, how has your faith helped you?
I've always believed there was something bigger than me. Okay. And I tell you what, I find strength in reading biblical passages. Matter of fact, to be quite honest with you, as I've gotten older, I mean, heck, I've always read the Bible and studied it as a young man. But more so today, I think I see a deeper meaning. I think perhaps it's the greatest self-help book ever written. I mean, it covers all aspects of life. I mean, it covers difficulties. It covers people having problems and overcoming those problems. And, sometimes I think we all have problems and challenges, and we feel like the first time it's ever happened has been to us. And so it's kind of nice sometimes to realize that somebody else has had a similar problem, and it's even more pleasant to realize they were successful in overcoming it. And so there are many examples of that in the Bible.
So maybe, signing up for one of your classes and, getting some physical activity and accomplishing goals and achieving levels is some good advice that you can extend to our viewers. I'd say to anyone, heck, you're absolutely going to love it, because it's really the method of instruction that we utilize is centered around gearing Taekwondo to the individual. It's not something where we expect people to come in and say, gosh, if you want to do Taekwondo, you have to do these things.
I kind of feel it's my job to make Taekwondo fit you, which means I have to make it an enjoyable experience. It has to be something that you're able to advance in and feel some level of expertise. And I think I've developed a very good method of making that possible for anyone from young children to senior citizens. So I welcome all.
Very good. And where should we send our viewers to come and get some good physical activity and some self-discipline?
You know, the fact that we've got 19 locations here in the greater Sacramento area, perhaps the best thing to do would be to go to our website, www.robinsonstkd.com. And that way you can select the location that's closest to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That was enjoyable.
We exposing thug mentality. Hey, yo, what's up, man? Did you get the book? The book? What book? Man, go to ThugExposed.com and get the book, Thug Mentality Exposed, by author Rayford Johnson. Thug Exposed? Yeah, man. The book is deep and very informative of the occultic movement called Thug Mentality. Say what? Yeah. Man, for instance, did you know that sagging pants started in prison as male prostitution? Oh man, let me pull my pants out. Mama, where my belt at? You crazy. Hey, listen to this. The author's written facts is ancient spiritual history dating all the way back to ancient Babylon. Whoa, I gotta get that book, man. Man, what you say that was? Go to ThugExposed.com or call 1-866-909-BOOK. Representing truth, okay? So get with the new movement. Oh, for sure. At ThugExposed.com. We exposing thug mentality.